Hello everyone. In our last video, we almost finished till our resume section and everything was working much fine. Now in our today's video, we will do the testimonial part, which we will make with the slider, and then we will also do our contact form and then the footer part. And after doing all of that, I will show you how easily you can deploy it in Vercel and make it on live. So no further ado, let's begin to create our today's build. Now before going to create the testimonial part, here you can see in the header is a little bit I think it will be out of our max div. So let's go to fix that first. To fix it, I'll go in the apps. I will take the navbar in the top outside of the max div. So when I did that, you can see it's a little bit outside of the div. Now after doing that, in the main div, what I will do, I will keep as a padding 4. Now you can see it looks smooth and it's almost same with the other one. So let's go and do the testimonial part. To make the testimonial, in the component, let's create another file called testimonial, and inside that testimonial file, a folder, let's create testimonial.js. Okay, let's import it in the app. And here you can see testimonial is here. So first of all, we need to get our title. That one, remember, we already create one title div. If we go to our resume, we can see we get the title here. So just that section part and that div, I'll just copy from there, and in the testimonial, I'm just gonna paste it and close the section. Also, we need to do one thing, import the title, and let's take the title because we're gonna send it as a props. Let's save it. And here you can see what's our client say and testimonial. I think that's much more same as the beforehand. So we have that. Now this all over the things we're gonna create inside a slider. See, whenever we are clicking the slider, everything is changing, right? So this all part we're gonna create inside a slider. So first of all, let's go bring our slider. We're gonna use that React Slick. Just copy that for installation. Let's install that on. And also we need to include that CSS, which also need to install by npm. And after installing that one, we need to import that CSS file. Otherwise the CSS will not work. We are not going to use the Slick theme, so we will not import that one. And that one we will either you can keep in app or you can keep index.js, wherever you want. I prefer in index file. And you need to remove that one, otherwise it will not work. So let's save it. And then what we need to do, we need to get all over the component. First of all, we need to import our slider. So let's go back to our testimonial and import that slider. And then it all will be inside an component. We already took the component as a testimonial and rendering is happening. We already return also here, so we no need to import everything. What we will do, we will take our settings. So we're gonna declare the settings here, and then it's time to take our slider. I'm just gonna get all the divs from here till all of the divs I will take, and I'm gonna paste it here. Let's save it. And let's go back to our apps. You can see the slider is working because the slider that slider, I think for right now I'm gonna keep only 2 div just to check. Yeah, we have a 2 slider. Now remember, in the source, in the assets file, we declare some of the props here, which is a testimonial 1 and 2. That's the images for that. We need to import those images to use here. first import one image, testimonial one, and inside that div, first let's see how we can divide, because that there is two part of the div, and that div is not in the full width. First we need to create that part, that image option, and then we need to keep that part. So first what we're gonna do, I'm gonna also comment this out, and this one I'll remove for right now. As you can see, only one is staying here. So inside that div, I'm gonna take another two div. Okay, so that div, I'm gonna give a class name for the max width of 6XL and MX auto VG red, just to show you. And we give the, I think for that one, because we are taking slider inside of that div, right? So what we will do, I'm gonna take all over the things inside that slider. Okay, see, that's the slider will come over here. So in that div, I'm gonna give a class name of width of full. So it will take all the width of that entire div. See, it's not the full width of the screen 2XL, it's the max screen of 6XL. You just can go to the Tailwind CSS documentation and read everything about it. So in here, we're gonna make the changes. So that is the full div. That div will over here, I think, reflect. Let me go to and remove this part with full height 96. I want to show you, see, that is the div we are looking for, and we will keep all the work inside of that div. Okay, so just for right now, I'm not gonna use it. Now this two div, we're gonna take inside of another div. I think not another div, or yeah, let's give some class name for it. Again, I'm gonna keep with full, and I'm gonna give a height of 500 pixel, and then just give a VG red of 300. Let's see if we can see. Yeah, that div is here. Now in here, this two div, let's give a class name, give a width of 35%, and the full height, that 500 pixel, that full height we're gonna give it. And for that div, we're gonna give a background, which will be a gradient background, that one. And for our next div, we're gonna give the width of like 60%. Okay, and height of full BG blue, just to let you show what kind of scenario you're going to have. Now see, there is a two div, the main div and then two subordinate div. So this one, what we're gonna do, you're gonna remove the background, and we're gonna make the flex, and also you're gonna create the justify between. Now see, we have two div and it's separated from each other. That one, there is a div actually, and to just visualize, let's just keep a shadow on it. We create a shadow beforehand, which will be shadow 1. You can see that is our div, which will contain the image and which will contain the other text. So first let's clarify that div, then we're gonna go within that div. So what I will do, I'm gonna just yeah, I'm gonna just remove the background so you will not see. I'll just keep the border so you can see that one. That is the div. So let's keep the image and other text here. So inside that div, our first div, what we're gonna do, we're gonna take our images, and for the images, of course the source will be the testimonial image. I think yeah, Is it the name of testimonial 1? Yeah, testimonial 1. Testimonial 1. The image is here. Okay, now that particular image, because any image you can put, so I'm gonna just go through and give a little bit some bunch of class name to make it good. I will just give a height of 72 and I will make it a rounded LG and object cover. So this is containing the overall of our width. And now what I'm gonna do, because it's not looks that much perfect, because it should be in the middle on some way, so I will just go and get some bunch of class name. I'm gonna explain you what I'm gonna putting through. So it's B in the middle. First of all, if I remove the, I'm gonna remove the gapping and every flex contain, which is other contains that, I'll remove that. It will be in a padding of 8 pixel, padding of 8, and then a rounded of LG. Over all the div, I'm making the LG, and then so that's the things we just making through. We just give a padding and it's coming in the middle. And now it's time to get our that text. Okay, there will be 3 text. One will contain the name, another also the name and the title. Okay, so after that image, I'm gonna take a div, and inside that div, in a p tag, I'm gonna get the text. That will be the text. Let's save it and let's see what we got. We got the text already here. So now that the same way we're gonna get the text. So let's pop up all the text with their class name. The first text, we give the class name of text access uppercase and the design color, and the tracking white we give little bit to go little bit further away. Now you can see the text is available here. Now those all things is inside the div. Remember that div is the one which is getting the width of 35%. So what we'll do, we will make the div as flex. It's crushing everything together, and we'll make the flex call in column side. It will go down and we will give a gap of 8. Let's see. Yeah, it's giving a gap of 8, and I think it's pretty much fine. But you see, it's not in the center. So what we will do, we will make everything justify in the center. And you see, it's crashing in the center. I think it's the almost the same of it. Yeah, it's the same. Okay. That's the same, I think. Yeah. Now we're finishing that div, and now is the time to take this part in the other one, which we already declare of the width of 60%. Now what's gonna happen inside that div, right? If you just simply look over here inside, there is also that quote, that one also an image, and then we are keeping another card item where we're gonna give a title, name, and then the star icon and little bit of text. So let's first go and bring our image, and that image, I think we give an image name of code. So just copy that name and get the image here. So in here we're gonna take another image, and let's put our image here. My PTR is crashed, so just you follow through. I think just arrange the way you like. Maybe it's, yeah. So if we go, you can see our icon is here, but that is looks very big. So I will just reduce the size of it. I'll give a class name, and I will give the width of 20% of width it will contain of the overall. So see, it's getting smaller. Now this border is not required. I'm going to remove the border. So that is our icon, and after that icon we are having another div. So let's go bring that div in the live. So that will be our div, and that div I'm just gonna pop up some bunch of class name, so you will understand what I'm going to do with that. So I'm gonna remove the flex part and also the gapping and padding. Let's save it, and you can see there is a div already here, right? And also because this 2 div, I want to be, see, it's not getting the full height of the actual div. So that one, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna give a flex, and I'll make it a flex call, and the same like before, I'm gonna make it justify between, and you see it's all together. And now inside that div, what is gonna happen? Because every item will come over here, the title, the duration and description, and the star. So we're gonna follow through the similar pattern which we did it before. We're gonna take a div, and inside that div, because that one will be inside the one div, and that one will be inside another div, and this 3 item will be inside another div. So it's all our divs somewhere. So let's go inside that div. We're gonna create 2 div, and inside the first one, I'm gonna just pop up the h3 and p tag. Okay, let's save it, and you may see that things is already here. Now it's from the side, it's a little bit not getting further. Let's give a padding of 8. You can see it's coming in the middle. And then what we're gonna do, we need to bring our star icon, and also that icon we will take from the React icons. We are using the React icon, and it will be, the icon will be like import. It will be, I think, RI star, maybe, I think the big letter STAR. RI star fill, maybe. No, it's not giving me the, let's just bring from somewhere and paste it. So that icon will be here, RI fill, the star icon, and inside that div over here, it will be our icon. So let's just save it, and we may see one icon here. Okay, and that icon, what we're gonna do, we're gonna give a class name over here, and then it will be text yellow of 500. If we save, we got the icon. We need to have the 5 icons. Save it, having the 5 icon, and that icon we will make just display flex. Yeah, and we will also give a gap of 1. So now it looks fine. So now this div and that div, we need to work with that. We give a class name, and we'll make it flex. Yes, and we will make justify between, and we need to make all of the things is in the center, so we'll make it item center, and that's in the center. So now here you can see there is little a bit of border line is happening. So let's create that border line. What we will do it after the image section. No, not after the image section, because we give that one, I think, here. Yeah, that's the div we are working through it. After giving it center, we're gonna make some class name over here. We'll make padding in y-axis 6. We give a border b of 2, and the border color will be gray 900. If we save it, somewhere border b gray 900. Oh, it's not catching with that. I think I made a mistake somewhere. Okay, let's paste it again. Yeah, now it's fine. You get the border bottom, and now after the border, we just need to simply get our last portion of text. Let's go to get the text, and after that overall top div, that div and that div, we're gonna just paste our text, and once we paste it, it's here. I think that text should come. It's getting a little bit squash from both of the side. Okay, so that is our div. That is the div. Okay, so what we need to do, because those item we didn't make it yet flex, so if we make flex getting side by side and make flex call in column side and justify, we will make in center. Yeah, now we are having that. And after making the justify, I think we need to give a gap of 8 also, so it will be a gap in the both side. As you can see, we are having the gap. So now we have our first slider, which will be our first testimonial. Now we need to create that same like another 1 or 2. So this is the overall our, I think that div and that div together is making our slider, the first div. So this is our first slider. So what we're gonna do, you delete that one, copy paste. Now we are having our 2 slider. So let's go back here and get the another image, which will be testimonial 2 image. Let's save it, and then that is our second div, I think the second image. So we will just do that one as a second image. So if you go back here, the first, second. Now the taste and design you may go and change by the way you want and you like. So first of all, what we need to do, we will remove those items and we need to create the same way. Okay, so for do that, if we just go through over here in our, like go to the in the documentation over here, and if you go to the example over and how the dot, first one we will fix that dot whenever we are changing the dot, and that dot we need to implement. How we can do append dots, how we can do it. First of all, we need to take that whole class in our application. We will just copy it. Let's go here, after we scroll we need to paste it here, and that's coming directly from the React Slick documentation. Okay, once you do it, you can see that is that 2 things we need to make it as the dot. So as you can see over here, that is our full UL. That is li, that is the list item, and that is the unordered list, that full things. So that one we need to give some bunch of class name for that. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna remove that margin. I will make it a flex, and I'm gonna giving a gap and justify content, which I'm going to make it in center. As you see, it's coming in the center. So we need to remove the background. We need to remove that. We need to make it as a circle, right? And so for that, what we're gonna do, we're gonna come in that style, and we will remove the background from here. Okay. Oh, sorry. We will remove the background. And after removing background, the background is gone. The border radius 10, padding 10, we just keep it as the way it is. Now what we need to work, we need to work in the that part, our li. Okay, so now if our li, just let's go and just give some bunch of class name. The width will be 12, height 12 pixel, color blue, and background is that one, and border radius, and the cursor will be pointer. If we give, you can see that is we are getting. So we need to remove that I think number. Okay, so that 1 and 2 we will just remove it. So if we just keep the I, yeah, what about removing any items from there? Now you see we're getting our, yeah, it's working. So what I'm gonna do it, as we used before the 3 slider, we're gonna take the 3 portion all together. That first one, copy it again, just paste it down. Yeah, now we have 3, yeah, the 3 dot. So first of all, the dot will not be in that color, only the active dot will be in color, right? So first we will make all over the thing is that one. We'll remove the background. We'll just put the background as gray. Okay, so now all are in gray. When the active one is coming, we need to make it as the colorful one. So how are we gonna see that? Let's find if there is giving any. See, the class name is coming, class slick active, right? Whenever it's getting, that class name is changing. You see that slick active is coming. Whenever I click, that class name is changing. So I'm gonna use that class name to work with that. Okay, so you feel free to go with whatever I'm following, but if you have any question, you can go to the documentation and create the way you want. So first of all, we will create an state, and that state will contain our dot active and set dot active. So, and there is one function which is coming directly from the documentation of React Slick, which is appending, like it will append that before change prevent next. So we are just going to just set dot active as whenever the next one is coming, it will be the active, and previous one will be the previous one. We're gonna declare it later. So now as we get our dot active, let's go. Now inside here in the style, we're gonna create a condition first of all. So just remove that one, because remember what we did, we create an state. So when the dot active will come, our dot active, the image will be in dot active, the color will be that, and when it's not active, that will be the color. So already we have that similar color, the gray color, the primary color. Now we need to create a state where we will declare that color, the one we are preferring as active color. So let's come back here in the style. We will create another state, and as we will forecast the I, like if that item is equal to dot active, if the item is dot active, what it gonna give us, and if it's not dot active, what it gonna give us. Okay, the simple way, I think, yeah, that will be the dot active, capital A. So now let's just paste that one. When it is active, it gonna give our desired color. Okay, and when it's not active, also all the setup will be the same. It will just change the color, which the color will be the gray. Okay, I think we make a mistake. The use state we need to declare over here. Use state. So now let's see. Whenever we are picking, our current active image is getting the color, and the other one is just simple as it is. So now what we need to do, that two we need to make as these two, right? So again, let's go in the documentation. There is the custom arrows. These two we gonna take first. Let's take to our sample arrows. It will be the sample next arrows, and that state we're gonna create in the top. Remember, we are passing a prop, so it should be in the top. So let's save it. Let's see what is giving us. So whenever we save, it's coming over here. And first of all, we need to use two arrows. One will be the arrow left, one will be the arrow right, as the arrow right and left. So these two arrow we will take from again our React icons. So these two arrow we're gonna use. So let's go, and first one will be, oh sorry, high arrow right. Save it. And that sample arrows, what we need to do, we need to declare it over here. Like here it will be like for the first next arrow it will be sample arrow next. Okay, let's save it. If we can see our arrow, you can see the arrow is here. Now that arrow, we need to make the customization for it. So first of all, we're gonna take that arrow and we're gonna give some bunch of class name for it. First of all, we are not going to use that class name which is declared over here. We will create our own class name, and that class name we're gonna just give some bunch of class name. And by the way, I think I make some mistake again. Yeah, what we're gonna do also, first thing first, we're gonna make it as an absolute. Okay, then remember, it's not inside in I think the style is testimonial. Style is not defined. I think we remove something. Oh yeah, I think we need to remove that style, which we are not going to use it from there. We create our custom style. You can see, yeah, that is the first one is here. So flag justify absolute, right, will be 20. I think that is our, yeah, that is our next one. Okay, so that is our what we did, because it will be in the down here, but we want it to leave the place and go in the top. So we made it absolute and we give in the position of absolute thing. And now for our I think the class name I took, it's for the previous button, so I'm gonna just make it as the right one, and you can see the changes is here. So it will be our next button. And for the pre button also, we will do the same. We will just we will go in the documentation, the same class name we will take, and then we're just going to take the same class name in the down of it. Let's paste it here, and that div, we're gonna create a closing div, and it will be high arrow left. So as you can see, if we go back here, we can see that is our previous one. Why is not because it didn't declare it here. It will be also the name will be prev arrow, and it will be sample prev arrow. Once we save it, we will see that is the one. And what we will do, we will do the same thing. We will just remove that style and the other class name, which we are not going to follow through, because we're gonna create our own custom class name. So let's copy that and paste it here, and when you go there, you can see now our slider is working. I'm not gonna explaining everything here in the class name, because it's very easy. If you just go through each and every class name, you will understand it better. Fine, what is that is saying? Line number 437. Okay, by mistakenly we take it. Okay, so now that is our testimonial section. You can see whenever you are changing, it's changing the patron, is getting you the another comment. Now here you can really customize it wherever you want, and whenever you click here also, that one is working pretty fine. Okay, so now with that, our testimonial portion is done. Now what we need to do, we need to create our contact form. Okay, so let's close the testimonial, and in the component we will create another folder named contact, and here we will keep a name of contact.js, RFCE contact. So go to our app, bring the contact over here, need to import. Now we got our contact. Okay, so first again, what we need to do, as we did it before, we'll just follow another, like we go to testimonial, and then what we will do, we will take that section and then the title div. So let's go back here, take the section, and the section will be finished here, and the first one, the title will be the contact, and the description will be contact with me. Now if we save, The title is not yet imported, so import title from title, and you can see it's here. Now if we click, it's going feature, project, resume, testimonial, not going anywhere, context not going anywhere, because it's staying in the resume because we didn't change it here. So for that we need to change as contact, and for the testimonial I think it's better if you go to the constant and see what we give. Yeah, we give testimonial and we give the contacts. So just, I think we delete that one. So let's copy the testimonial, and then in our testimonial we'll paste it here. Now if we are going testimonial, testimonial is coming, and also in the contact, our contact section is working very fine. So now what we need to do, we need to create our contact section, and it will be pretty much same as the previous as one, because see, there is 2 div we create. The same way we will create 2 div, but what will happen only here, the actual positioning, the width will be the same as the other one. So first of all, let's go back here in our contact, and then we gonna take our 2 div which we use over here. Like see, we copy that one. Let's see if we can decipher or not. Let's paste it here. So now inside here we're gonna remove all other things, okay, and also inside here we're gonna remove all other things except those. Okay, so now when you save it, let's go back to our contact. You can see we get 1 div, and if we give a color on it like BG blue, see the both div is here. So now inside of div, that div we need to work. Okay, so we get our both div, and now we need to work with our contact from. So to begin with, I think our contact also have one image which is showing here. Let's go and back that image to our file. So if we go to our source folder and index, there is a contact image here. So close the testimonial, no need the constant. In the contact we will import that image. It will be from assets index. So that is our first image will be here. So now we will work inside of that. Okay, so first let's go begin and pop up our image here. Let's see, and that image will be our contact image. If we save it, the image, we can see the image here is okay. Now what we're gonna do for that image, we will also give a little bit bunch of class name, which will be width of full, height of 64. We need to give the height in limited position, object cover rounded LG, and from the margin bottom it will be 2. So that is our, now if we don't give that margin bottom 2, is fine. You can see the why we give it later on. And now we can do one thing also, we will not make that flexible things here right now. So when we are going to make it, you will see why we did it. So that's our width, and the height is taking, because remember that one we already get it from there. So now you will make a height of auto, whatever the height is taking, let us give it. Okay, so we got an contact image. After the contact image, we will create another div, and now inside that div we're gonna pop up all of the things. Okay, so first of all, in that div, what we're gonna do, we're gonna take one h3 which will combine the name, and then there will be another p tag which will contain the title, and then we will take another div, okay, not the div, another p tag which will contain again that little bit description over whatever we are giving, and then we will pop up again another p tag, and where, remember, if you can see, that is a different, that is our name, title, and the description, and then the phone number, and see there is a gapping here, and little bit the color is different. That was we are creating inside that p tag. I'm not going to go one by one. Again, I'm saying you just follow through, then whenever you are doing, you will understand it better. So now we are having that, our description, our phone number. I think we have a balance of another one. Which one will be our email? So let's go. The email is here. Now what we will do, that overall div, we need to make a gapping over here, right? So then this div, what you'll do, we'll make it, that div as a flex. Now after making the flex, it's squashing all together. We will make it flex call, and see, now we will give a gap of 4. Okay, now there you can see there is a gap after that image, a little bit more gap. Remember, we declared before that margin bottom of 2. That one we need to implement. The gap is here because we need to give a gap of that 3 div together. That one, this one, and this one will be the different level of gap. So now after that div, what we're gonna create, we're gonna create another div, and inside that div we will create that find me in, which will contain the text. So the find me in is here. Now this 3 all over the div, we will contain the gap, and it will be this div, right? So now what you're gonna do, I think yeah, the div, not that one, yeah, the 35% what we give, yeah, that will be the div. So let's make it a flex, and it will be flex from column side, flex column. And then if we save, we can see its flex is happening, but still it will not be visible until we give a little bit a gap of 8. Let's give a gap of 8. See, it's going through the down. And also that flex item we will make justify center. Okay, so all the items will be center in the from axis, and also I think the shadow we already given before. So now we need to create that 3 div which will contain the image, and I think the image we used beforehand, yeah. So remember we no, we didn't image that. No, there is a okay, we can use it, recycle it later. So let's create that image first, not the image, the icons. So first of all, I'm gonna get the icon from the React icons, Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn. To keep that icon after the find me in, because that icon will be in a flex div. So and then inside that we will give a span tag, and then we will give, because span tag we are giving because there will be a changeable things which we used before for the all the icons. Remember, for the icons we create one class name, that banner icon. Remember that banner icon class name, we will keep it here like class name banner icon. If we give it here, you can see that the previously we used the setup is already here. We put it in a class name as a banner icon. So if you go to our contact, that icon is working here. So now we need to create our another 3 icons. The same, it will be in this span, and you can see the 3 icon is there. But now what we need to do, we need to make it a class name, and it will be flex. And when you give a flex, it's getting the flex, but we need to give gap of 4, and see the gap is happening. So now that one is all right. But if you go through here, there is a little bit more gap than the room is creating than the previous tips, right? So what we will do, in the topper level, in that div which contain all the icons, we will make it flex. When we make it flex, it will go side by side, but we will make it flex in call. Well, I'm making everything in flex because when we are going to make it responsive, it will be a life-saving, or if you are keeping track with the flex, you're gonna see. So that's why I'm using flex wherever I can. So now that things is done, all right. So we are having our first part for our contact page, like our contact form. So now what we need to create, we need to create our contact form, right? So let's go. So before creating the contact form, you see there is already so much things. Now again we will put it down. It will be like little bit delicate to moving on, right? So what we will do, we will make contact left, .js, and we will get RAFCE. We'll go to contact, and remember which we create, that 35%. Yeah, in here I think that is the one, the 35% we take. This div, we're gonna cut it, and in the contact left over here, we're gonna paste it here. And also everything contains about the image we use, we need to get the image, and the icon we use, we will get the icon. Now save it here also. The first thing what will happen, it will go from here. The second thing what we're gonna do, we're gonna make contact left. We will import it here, place it, and you find it your contact left side. So that is here. Now if you want to change anything here, you just go back to that component and change. Okay, so in our contact page, that one is slick and clean, so we can either remove or we can work now pretty much easily over here. Now this is the time to create our contact right part, which will contain the form. Okay, our contact form. So now let's go to our here. In here what we will do, we will make a form. I'm not gonna give any action over here. So that will be our form. And that form, what you will do, it will contain overall the width. Yeah, let's make a class name. It will be width full. And to identify that div, I'm just gonna get and copy bunch of class name, the similar class name we give the previous div. So you can see, yeah, it's here. Now the height is auto, so it will go down slowly. Now we need to import those things. The I think, yeah, those things is that the level and that the input. Let's go and start making those things. So inside that form, first one we will create inside one div. If you remember one thing, just see it. That two will be in flex, and that one it will be in separate lines. So we will create that things inside a div, then we'll make it flex. Inside that div, first we will give a p tag, and that p tag will contain that one, your name, and then we will give an input item, and that input will contain the other things. If we go back here, we'll see that input is working. So what we are going to do, first of all, we are going to create one class name over here. Before creating the class name, I think let's go and get some bunch of class name which we're gonna use for the contact input. That will be the class name for the contact input, so it will be the full width, and you see that is all coming from that contact input class name. So that class name, because we will have a several bunch of contact inputs, so what we will do, we'll go to our index.js. I think after that we're gonna create another class name which will be, I don't know why my this picture is not working, contact input, and then we will create as apply, and then let's just paste it. So now this contact input is ready to use, so just copy it. Let's go back here. I think this one not required anymore. Let's paste it, contact input. If we save it, yeah, that's also working as the way it's supposed to be. So for after that contact input, there will be in contact right, there is another option is happening also as a p tag, which we gonna give also a little bit a bunch of class name. Like let's go, and then the text will be sm, the small text, and the text will be gray in 400, and then all text will be uppercase. Like if we are by mistakenly you are not giving in uppercase, it will take as is in uppercase, and then it will be tracking white to looks little bit cool. So now see, that is fine. So now this p input and then the p tag and input we're gonna take inside a div, because we're gonna give a class name for it. And now for that class name we're gonna give like width of 1/2, because there will be another div and it will be flex call, and gap will be 4. If we save it, you can see it's here. So now the same way we're gonna create another div, and which will contain phone number, right? So let's give phone number, and you may see that is all together down by side by side and down. So we'll do class name with full flex, yeah. And in that flex we will also give a gap. We'll create a gap of that. Gap will be 10. So that's our name and phone number. Now we need to create email, subject and message. And for the email, what we will do after that, from components we will create another div the same way, another div, and these things will be the same. We will take these items from there and then paste it here, and that will contain the, it will contain email, and the name will be email. Now if you see, our email is here. Now overall from we need to create one flexible component, because the gapping will be from this all side, it will be the same gapping. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna go to our from tag. Now the width is full is here. Now what we're gonna do over here is that we're gonna make that one is also in flex. When you make in flex, it will be, yeah, all together we'll make flex call in the column side, okay, and then we'll give a gap of 6, and from the padding in y-axis we will keep it 2. Now see, so we have our email and everything is working fine. Then email is not giving the way it should be, because remember we keep a flexible portion is here, which we didn't put it there. So now if we put I think, yeah, we made a mistake in somewhere. Okay, these two will be there, yeah, flex, okay, flex call in column, and gap will be 6. I think gap not 6, it will be 4 we gave before. Yeah, for that we give 4, yeah, that one also will be gap 4. So now the same way we need to create our subject. Let's create our subject. It will be text and it will be subject. Let's save it. We got our subject. Now we can do one thing, actually we can create another one, but that one will be called message. But remember that message is not the input, it will be like a text area. So what we are going to do, we need to create that text area, not input. It will be like we go here, it will be as a text area, no need the name, and also we'll remove the ID. If we save it, let's save it. As you can see, our text area is ready. So now what we're gonna do for the text area, also again we will create another class name. Okay, remember we can go through in our index file, we will create another class name. I think here a little bit, yeah, and that will be in that class name. I'm going to get some bunch of I need to make apply, and then paste. And also again we will give away the full, and then the same way you can go through each and every class name and you'll find it's reasonable the way I put it. So let's copy that class name, and then here just paste it. After pasting it, you can see we got our, and that there is, you can see the border bottom is coming here because we already declare here the border bottom. Okay, so the border be gray 600 and it will be 1 pixel, so it's already declared here. So you go each and every single step and it will you will find the reasonable answer for it why I'm putting there. Okay, once you do it, you will get to know and it will familiarize, it will just make sense. So it's little bit bigger from the previous one, and I think is for that we can do one thing. We will just give a row of 8. If we give it there, yeah, little bit. Okay, so now it's the time to create our button. Then after that div, before the from ends, we're gonna create yeah, because we are giving everything inside a div, let's give in a div so it will work fine. So it will be send message. If we save it, our button is here. Now for the button also we are going to give a little bit bunch of class name because we need to make it as that, like that one. So we go to the button, give the class name, and you can see that's working much fine. You can do one thing also. If some way it's making the problem, we just give away the full, so it will just contain the same thing. So here you can see our contact form is ready. Whenever you are typing something, it's giving you that little bit effect over here, the outline effect. Now whenever we are clicking, you see it's refreshing, but in our React things we don't like refresh. So first of all, in the button, because everything gonna happen, every validity, you see everything, every validity and all other things is happening whenever we are clicking inside that button. So we need to create that handle function inside that button. So now we will click on click handle send. It will create, we will create our send message. So inside here, like we will declare I think handle, we keep something there, I forget the name. Yeah, handle send, and now we will create the function. And first of all, we will take an event from that function, and then first one, it will be whatever the default is there, it will gonna just prevent that default. So now see, it's not refreshing. And also let's see if it's working or not. Let's open our console and click. Yeah, hello is coming, so our button is working. Now what we will do, in our every field we will clarify a function which will maintain the on change. Okay, we're gonna declare that piece of state. So first of all, in here what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna get all the states, whatever the state I'm gonna use. I keep a username because the directly name is making some problem. Also we need to take the use state. So in state hook we are creating the username, and we will make the set username the phone number. We will set phone number, email, subject, message, error message also we are taking, and also we are creating an success message. So first of all, let's declare whatever will contain what. Now in the input here, inside that input, what we gonna happen, like whenever it's changing on change, it will create a function and it will give an event, and it will be set username and e dot target dot value. So now whenever we are clicking here, let's see if it's contained the username or not. So let's go to our, let's open the terminal, just make a hit refresh to refresh everything. So whatever we are typing, whenever we are clicking, we can see that value, right? That value is here. Okay, so that is the one thing we're gonna do. And also whenever we will click here, we want that one to be empty, that value will be empty. For that, I'm just showing you in one single state, then I'm gonna just copy paste all other things. So just try to understand. So whenever we are typing something here inside that your name, whenever we are clicking, we can see it in the console, because what we did here, we make in a class name which is setting our state, which is set username, or whatever the target is here is setting here. Now after that, what we'll do, because after click we want to eradicate that one, so we will give a value, and that value will be username. Okay, so what I'm gonna do, first of all, like let's see, if username equal to none, then it will make an set error message which will contain that username is require, right? And if an else time, what will happen, if there is an username, it will make a console.log username, and then what is gonna do, set username, it will clear the set username. So if we go to our, let's just hit save. Okay, so if we click, and also we can do one thing, we can just see the console error message in the console error message. First of all, remove that without typing anything here. If it's empty, we click. I think in the console log, okay, we need to send that maybe. Yeah, username is required. We're getting an error, right? Like if I type something here right now, I type something, I click, I get that item, and you see at the same time it's removing the value. Okay, whenever I click, the value is gone, and we can see in the error message also, right? So with the same procedure, with the same way, I'm gonna do all other things. First of all, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna set some state which will contain that username state and other things. First of all, let's go here, and now there will be my all the state, and also we are going to confirm our email, which I'm gonna explain you later, because we'll validate the email. Any things you type, it will not validate until it is a valid email. So that function also we are creating here. So in the handle set, we are getting some error messages whenever it's empty. If it's an empty value, we are getting the error messages, but whenever there is a value, we are setting that value and passing it to our in the success message. Okay, so let's hit it and save. Now what we gonna do, we need to, in the on change, first of all we create our username, and now it will be our phone number. Also we will, in on change, what we gonna do, in the input we will take it, oh sorry, it's my mistake. In the on change, I think that's the phone number. Yeah, on change we will create another event, and it will be set phone number target.value, and the value will be phone number. And for the email, it will be the same way. What is the email? In here is for the email. And now for the subject, the same way, we're gonna declare the subject. It's in the input. We'll make on change, we'll take the subject, and then also the value will be the subject. And for the messages, it will come and see in the text area. For the messages in the text area, we will declare that one. So first of all, before doing that, let's see, make a console.log. Like we want to see the username, phone number, and then username, phone number, email, message, and subject. Just save it. We'll make a console here. let's see if all the things is coming or not. Okay, I'll just ignore it first. Like I'll put my name and any number .com, subject test. This is the test message. Whenever we click, we get all over the items and everything is swept away. So this is working pretty fine. Now we need to show the error messages, because see, every time we are just clicking without putting something here, there will be an error. So first of all, we need to create a piece of state where we can show the error message. So inside the from, we're gonna create a p tag. Not the p tag, first we will create the state, and that state will create that error message. And if there is an error message, what it will happen, what it gonna do, it gonna return a p tag if error message is there, and it will contain the error message. So let's go back here. If we click, see, username is required, it's giving the error. If you click the username, the phone number is required. So every single state it's giving that error. So what we gonna do for that error message, also we need to give a bunch of class name for that to look it much better. So and we will make it in padding in y-axis 3. And for the background, what we will do, just let's go and pop up all of those things. Yeah, we're giving a padding of 3, we're giving them also it's also a background, and then we are putting a shadow, and text we're keeping it center, and text color will be orange, highlighted like a little bit yellowish, and the text will be the base text and tracking white. And also we are going to give an animate which will create as a bouncing animate. See, that is here, and as you come over here, actually the 2 error messages happening. So that error will just copy, and before, I think it's after the button. So after button, after the div finish, we are going to keep another error. So see, we are having that 2 error messages. So now anything is changing, phone number error is coming. If we give the phone number and if we write anything, see, give a valid email, is the validation is happening. That validation is coming from here. So how to create a validation, you just go through piece of state, and that if you don't understand any of it, just let me know in the comment below. I will make it part by part for you if you not understand it properly. Okay, so now I give a valid email, gmail.com, asking for the subject, give a subject, give a message, done. The error message is gone, but we are also creating a success message, right? So also we need to show our success message. So now in here, after the error message, because there will be an error message, and like if the error there is, whenever error message is there, success message will not be there. So like if a success message is there, now what we gonna do, we're gonna again return another p tag which will contain the success message. Remember the success message, your messages sent successfully, your messages has been sent successfully. So that message will come over there. Like if we see your messages sent successfully is here already, because we previously submitted one form. And now what we're gonna do, we're gonna get some of the class name for the success message also. Let's go and give it here, and see, your messages sent successfully is now the same thing. It will go down and give it here, your messages sent successfully. Now refresh it, because we're gonna create another piece of state. Now whenever you are send message, username is required, but we cannot see here which one is required, so we need to highlight that one. We want the customer see it very easily, right? So how we gonna do it? Like whenever you click, like I give the username, I click here, phone number is required, but where is that field? If we highlight, like the way we highlight, if we highlight in that way, people can easily see which one is required. So we need to create that highlight portion. So first let's go to the username, and in the username, what we gonna do, we have that contact input. Let's cut it. We will create a functional way to declare the CSS. It will be default one will be in default, but now we're gonna give a condition, okay, like error message. If that error message is contain the messages here, we give it, right? That user I think that one, yeah, username is required. If that error message contain this message, where is that? Yeah, contain this message, what is gonna be happen? It will happen something. If it's not contain that one, I think we will not make error. Sorry, we will not make condition. We will just put an and. What will happen? So it will happen that outline. It will be the design color. If that error message is there, if not, no error, that will be the default one. Okay, just make a refresh. We create for the user a name part, right? If we click, you can see beforehand when you click, that error is coming, but without clicking, that error is here. Like you type, it's gone. I think it should be gone. If you type, if you send, yeah, it's gone. Whenever you click, it will be gone. So that piece of state we're gonna create for all other part. So we create for our name. Now also we will go for our phone number, just that one. Instead of that class name, we'll put that conditional class name. And for the email, we'll also create that where's our email? Yeah, we will put that conditional. And for our subject, let's go and bring that condition. That is our subject. And the last is our message. For our message also, let's bring that. For the message, remember, yeah, the text area. Okay, it's right. So now if we just refresh that one, click, we type some name, we click, we see which one. You can put it number or something. I just make it as default. If we click, the .com and the subject, we give a subject. Okay, now your messages has been sent successfully. We can create something else here, right? Also, like we want to keep the usernames here, right? Okay, we just cut it. Same way, we will keep a functional component like username. We will give a message for him, thank you, there. That will be then the username will shown up there, then the message will come. So it will be the thank you, then the username, and then it will give us the message. So now if we save it, we give a name of John Doe and phone number blah blah blah, gmail.com, anything, any subject, just type something. See, thank you dear John, your messages has been sent successfully. That's so easy. Either you can customize the email, and from that email you can redirect the email to send a demo email there. Anything you can do. So we are almost the way to done our contact form. And after doing that, remember, go to the console and just check in any comment is there, whatever we missed. So see, it's not a little bit down shape word. So what we can do, we will go to our contact page, and then I think what we're gonna do, we're gonna give a padding of 4. If we give that, yeah, a little bit down. I think if we give 5, down. Now I can take this part as a contact right, but you can do it because there is a lot of state and a lot of things is going on. Make it a try yourself. Take every single items whatever contain in that 60% is that right portion, is that contact from portion. Take that part in a different component and try to make it right. Okay, so now I'm gonna move it to for our footer. Our footer will be here. So let's go in our component. We're gonna create another folder contain the footer. and inside here we're gonna create a file name footer.js rfce. So that will be our footer. Now that footer for primarily I'm gonna pop up some bunch of class name, and let's go, because okay, I will just delete some of that because it will be difficult to understand, because that one we are not going to make it in a way we did it before. We will not make it in a flex, we will make it in a grid pattern, right? So let's go to our app, and then we will bring the footer here, footer. So I think, yeah, footer is appear here. So in that footer there will be 4 div. Okay, so inside the footer let's create 4 div, like 1 2 3 4. Now in that 4 div we're gonna give a bunch of class name, like class name width will be full and height will be full, and bj, just give a blue bj, just to show you how it will gonna work. Okay, so now with this full, I think the height will give a 96. If we save it, we can see our footer here. Okay, I think why is getting in 90. Okay, just let me see. Okay, height of 10. From where is taking that? I think I missed something somewhere. Padding y 10, height of 20. Why is not taking? Okay, we'll just pop up again. Okay, that things. Okay, let's just inspect. I think we misplaced something somewhere. I do blue. Okay, because it's taking this coming like, see, remember we give the full height, so all the 4 divs, it 96 into 4, so this is the height it's going taking. So this is my mistake, I just didn't understand that one. What I'm gonna do, we will make it as a grid. Okay, and see, when we make a grid, it's coming side by side, and also we're gonna make a grid cost of 4, and then we will give a gap of 8. Now see, we get our grids. So inside that grid, there one will contain that, one that. So it's just simple as it. Sorry, I just freak out because I missed what I was going to do. Okay, let's delete that, not record. And the height also, we're not gonna keep any. I will give a height of auto because there will be a content which will contain the height. So now for the first div, first of all, let's import our logo, because we're gonna use the logo from assets and from the index. So now here, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna popping up that image source, and it is as logo. If I save, you can see our logo, but logo will be a little bit smaller than before. So for that logo, I'm gonna give a class name and width of 32 I'm gonna give. Now after that logo, that portion is coming the same as that one. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna just, you can just go through and copy from your previous one, just as I think I missed something. And now the same way, remember we put it before in the contact, we can just go to our contact, it was in the contact left. That div we will just copy and we're gonna paste it here. Let's see how it's working or not. If we paste and see here, it's working. So it's in the side by side because we need to give a bunch of class name for this div. Hide a full, we'll make a flex and side by side and flex call and the gap of 8. Tala. So now it's done. Okay, fine. So now we need to create that state, quick resource links and other things. So inside that div, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna create an h3 which will contain the text, our quick link. So now there is a little bit thing to understand. Now we will create an order list, and then we will create a list item where we will give an about. So now you can see here, whenever we click like a hover, there is an effect going on. We need to create that effect, right? But first, just let's see about, and just bring some more. We'll just create that effect here. First of all, for that UL version, in the UL we will give a bunch of class name. It will be flex call, the font will be title font, and font medium, overflow will be hidden. For right now, I'm not gonna take the overflow hidden because I'm gonna show you why I keep hidden beforehand. Now see, it's working. So now let's create that hover effect. Okay, so now in the li, if we I want to show you the problem, then I will show you why I did the other thing. If we make the bg of red, see, it's contain the overall width, but whenever I am giving that, it's contain only that much, the letter portion, okay, the same width of that letter, okay. So we need to create it in that way. So what I'm gonna do, instead of taking everything in the directly in the li, I'll create one span and I'll paste it in the span. Now if I cut it here and paste it here, what you can see, only the same portion is taking from there, right? So now we can work with it. So first of all, let's remove that one, and for that we will make width of full, and it will be the text of LG text, little bit LG, yeah. And then we'll make it a relative text, because we will create another span which will create the absolute, and that span will gonna give that effect. See, in the down that is hovering, so that effect we will create with the other span which you're creating, so it will be in relative. Okay, and now whenever we are hovering, the text will be design color, okay, and the duration will be 300. And of course it will make it a cursor pointer. It will looks better with that. So now see, hover is working. And for that div, we'll give a class name. It will be absolute class, and height will be 1 pixel, and width will be full. It will be inline flex, otherwise you will not see the properties, and bg will be design color. We save, we can see that one here. Now what we'll do, we will from the bottom, we'll make bottom 0 and also left 0. See, it's there. So now what we will do, for the bottom, we want it to little bit more down. We'll give a bottom of -1. It's down here. Okay, now first of all, it will not be here. So what we're gonna do, we will make translate x 100%. I think it will be -100%, so it will be totally in that side. Now here you can see, we now we can give a name of that one as a group. Okay, so whenever we are hovering on that group, like group hover, translate x will be 0. Right, it is here. Whenever we are hover, is 0, right? But now it's coming very quick. There is an see, it's coming all together. The duration is coming all together. So we need to create that duration. So now what will happen? Transition will coming in transform, which is happening with the translate, and it will be the duration will be 300. Okay. So now if we see, okay, it's very smooth, very smooth. So these things, like if this, instead of these two, if we like paste it here, now you can see. Okay, now one more thing, we don't want to see it beforehand, so we will go to our li. Actually we can go to li, or we can directly give it to our, because that all over the height is that unordered list, right? So whatever is overflowing from here, we'll just make it hidden, so you will not be seeing it. Okay, so about, so that's the way it can be done, and it's very simple to do it, right? So now what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna just go in my previous file, and then I will just drag all of my properties in the same way we did, and then we're gonna keep it here. So about, portfolio, services, blog, and contact. So now as we did it all in that file, so what we're gonna do inside that div, you know, yes, so we're gonna just copy in that 2, and here we're gonna paste it, and you will see the quick links is here, but that one, it will contain not the quick links but the resources. You can see the resources is here. Now what you need to do, we need to just change that authentication system status. Oh, sorry, it will be system status, and then the terms and condition, and then the pricing override is here. Alright, now I'm gonna just pop up the other one from my previous source, so which will contain that overall div for the developers, and it will be inside here. You can see the developers documentation. Now why I keep this, how we gonna, like, if you want to pop it in some other way, like whenever someone is going to click in about, it will takes me to in a different link, like in my whatever, like I have my on link, I want it to take it here. Okay, so how we gonna do it whenever someone clicking on that about thing? So let me find the about. Where is the about? Inside that about, that overall list item, I will put in a tag. So just paste it here, and I will refer it to in that link. And also I want to go it in a empty page, so it will be target will be blank, and I think also we need to keep it as a no, it's okay, it's good. So that will be on target. So now if you go, you click in about, it's gonna take it to that particular page. Again, you click in target, it will take you in another page and that actual destination. So by the way, you can link it in that way. So I'm not gonna link it right now. Let's just undo it. So that is our footer is done. So now again there is another piece of state, which is the footer bottom. So what we're gonna do inside that footer, we're gonna create footer bottom .js refce. So now we need to create the footer bottom. Footer bottom will be just simple. It will contain a single textable things. So that is the footer bottom. And instead of importing it inside the footer, we will just go to app. We'll just make footer bottom to contain there. Just paste it, go there, and you see your footer bottom here. So with that, our total page is already running, and I think it's ready to be uploaded. So we have our home, which contains I think sorry, we are here. I will just close that one. So in the home, now you can see also one more thing is that features, projects, resume, testimonial, contact is all is working fine. We need to change the icon, right? Like what you can put any of the icon as you like, but for time being, I'm gonna go in my public folder. I'm gonna paste my logo here, and first of all, you need to change the name of that, right? So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna make, not it will be in I think the John, we give a name of John Doe, and personal portfolio. And also in here I think we can, okay, let's save it. It's changed, see, John Doe, the personal portfolio. And how you can change the image over here, what you can do in that icon, you can just give your profile photo or whatever photo you want, just change it, and it will automatically change your icon over here. And the one thing need to remember, in the Apple devices it will not work. You need to do also for Apple devices here, and save it. Now it will work pretty much fine. So we got our title, okay, now if you see it, you have your banner where you have your name. You can customize it any way you want, the photos, everything. And the same thing you can do with the H tag, which I shown it before in the footer. Whenever you click, it will take to your Facebook, YouTube account, or LinkedIn, or everything you want, okay? And you can customize it, do it well. And in the projects, you can make the projects in a dynamic way. And whenever you click, every time it will take you to the dynamic website and GitHub link. Okay, just give it a try and make yourself that you can do it. And I'm gonna show you how you can do it. For that, like I think, yeah, it's in our project. So in the projects, let's go to the projects card, and here we need to make it in a dynamic way. We need to pass it through a props for the every single projects. The link will be here, and that link we need to pass it on directly on the other way. Okay, then it will be work pretty much fine. So now what we're gonna do, it's time for us to go to our GitHub, because we are going to upload it. For first of all, we need to create our repository. For the repository, you need to create your GitHub account. Just go to github.com and you will find everything you need. We're gonna open our tab, and we'll give a repository name, which will be like YouTube portfolio. Just give it the name of YouTube portfolio. I think TUB, yeah, YouTube portfolio, and we will create our repository. So our repository is created already. So what we're gonna do, we will close our terminal. First of all, before you are importing anything in your Git repository, what you need to do, you need to initialize Git in your folder. Like if I make Git status, it's showing every single file requires on my root file, because we didn't initialize Git over here. The simple way we should initialize is Git init. So it will initialize the Git in my directory. Like if you give a Git status, it will show that particular items only here. Now you can make Git add and manually making the name for every single file you want to add, but I want to add whatever inside my all over the directory. So I will make a period and enter. It will add all of those. Now I need to make a commit, and commit will contain a message. Need to give that message like my first commit, and enter. So now my tree is clean. Like if you make a Git its status, everything is on that branch is committed. So what I will do, I will interlink my repository to my base file. You can do it through the command line, but I will make it for simple for you as the way as it is. So I make it, I committed, and I linked my Git repository. Now what I will do, I will push all over the items. As you can see, git push u origin main. The main will be there, but you need to think of the name is here. If it's master, you need to give a master, like git put u. If I give a main, like git put origin, I think u origin main, it will not take, because my here is master, right? So it will not take the name as main. So I'll keep the master. And now it's gonna upload everything to my repository. It's done. If I refresh it, everything is over here. We give a name of YouTube portfolio. Now it's time to go back to our Vercel dashboard. Now, and also it's the same way of like the GitHub. To open an account in Vercel, just go to their vercel.com and try to make your own account. Now you see the Git YouTube, that YouTube portfolio, we just simply import it here. The same, everything will be the same. We don't have any environment variable. We are not using any backend or other output, so we're gonna deploy it here. Now what the Vercel gonna do, it gonna redirect everything from our Git repository, and as you see, there is no node modules in the GitHub. By default, it's not ignoring everything. So now it gonna import every single dependency it requires to run our application. Okay, from the node modules to all other things, it's gonna fetching, and then it's creating an optimized production build. So now also there is like the main production build, which we need to make also that npm run build, which we are not doing it right now. So after finishing all things, whatever we are doing, it will come with a single link, which we're gonna upload and can see. Now our application, I think, is done. Yeah, now see, continue to dashboard. Now once you go in that YouTube portfolio.vercel.app, you can see your application there. Till if you do it everything perfectly with me, you will reach over here and you're gonna have your portfolio. Now whenever you are applying to any of the company, you can just get that link, copy it, and just give it to them. They can see it and they can value it, whatever the worth you have. Okay, so now see, everything is very slick, everything is running pretty much fine. But remember, also the sending message is happening properly. Remember, it's not responsive. If you pull it, that it will break because it's not yet responsive. So let's yourself give it a try to make it responsive one. And if you want me to make that one, how to make the responsive entirely in CSS, let me know in the comment below. I will give a video where you can see it will be the simply fully responsive, and it will work much better. So all the best. Let's create your own portfolio, create a own picture of yours, and all the best to make it. Okay, thank you. We'll see you in next video.